marriage apostle, author, international conference speaker, relationship and family life consultant. He is the president and lead coach of Marriage Restoration International Incorporated. He is also the convener of Marriage Revolution for Singles and Married, also known as My Marriage Must Work. This man is a prolific author. He's written 6 books. Some of the books that he's written is Unlocking Possibility Mentality, Your Dream Can Change Your World, Get Married in 12 Months. Hey, some single people need to get this immediately. Get married in 12 months. So by May 2021, by the time we know what is happening with this coronavirus, you'll be in your husband's house or with your wife, you know. The next one is Marriage Revolution Code 12. And then he has a few books that are coming out shortly: Love, Sex, and Married Life, and 52 Laws of Intentional Marriage. All right, and Pastor Joe is happily married to Lady Meg Igbanugo for 22 years. That's not easy, man. And they are blessed with 3 nations. And they live in Port Harcourt in Nigeria. His website is joeigbanugo.com. All right. Let me tell you a little bit about our guest tonight. When I gave my life to Christ, when I got into university in 1987, these were the people who taught me the things of God. I remember very well, you know, then he was Brother Joe. Brother Joe was one of those people who reached out to me and became my big brother. He was 2 years ahead of me in university, and you know, he looked after me and helped me in my, you know, days of starting in the things of God. So I thank you. I have never acknowledged you publicly for helping me in those early days in my journey in the Christian faith. Thank you for the investments you made when I was a young convert in 1987, 1988. Thank you so much. Today we are what we are because of those foundations that you helped us to lay. God bless you, sir.
We thank God. We thank God. Thank God that you are standing. You are even a
Amen.
bigger guy.
Thank you.
You're a big boy. Thank God.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, tonight we are discussing the topic wisdom for stronger relationships. Wisdom for stronger relationships. I believe this, that every marriage, it doesn't matter where the marriage is, it can be stronger. Every relationship can be better. Every marriage can get better than where they are. Whether the marriage is good, whether the marriage is average, whether the marriage is bad, there is always a next level. And we are going to be unpacking that wisdom tonight. How do we navigate to take our relationships, our marriages to the next level? I want to ask Pastor Joe to come in. Talk to us about strengthening relationships. Can we have strong marriages? Can we have strong relationships? Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Pastor Chooks, and my sister, the amiable wife, and all our audience all over the world. It's possible to have a strong relationship. It's possible to have a quality marriage. Very, very possible. In fact, some of the things I'm going to say today may sound unchurchy or heretical, but when you get home, you will know that they are very truthful. You can be married to God's perfect will, because God's perfect will and what is good for you is the same thing. You can be married to God's perfect will. You prayed well, you waited on the Lord, you are well guided, and you got married, and still have marital frustrations. Very, very possible. Now, you begin to doubt, did I really marry the right person or not? So it is possible to have a quality marriage, but it's also very, very possible to be married well and live wrongly. Now, let me give this illustration. Jesus spoke to us about 2 types of foundations. Somebody that is about to build a house and has 2 types of foundations, one on a rocky place, one on a Sunday place. Now, when he began to give us that parable, he was talking about hearing the word of God, living by it, or hearing the word of God and just walking away. I believe we are talking about marriages according to the word of God. And that's what makes marriages stand. Now, do you know that those two kind of foundations, the buildings that were put on those two kind of foundations, they face the same hazard. The same hazard. In fact, they face rain, flood, and storm. Whether built on strong or built on sandy. Now, it depends on how you build. Marriages, relationships stand on how well, how strong it is built, and how the building is being maintained. If you have a beautiful building 40 years ago or 10 years ago, and you don't do maintenance, in this part of the world, maintenance is a challenge. If you don't do maintenance, that building can collapse anything. So it is possible to have quality relationship. People that are not yet married, you have had the first relationship with somebody, you began to date. After some months, the thing scatters. You give it one excuse. Tomorrow you begin another one, it scatters. You give it one excuse. And of course, in this part of the world, most times what we don't understand why it is happening, we say it is spiritual. Because you've not studied why it is happening. Now, and you continue to move, before you know it, you are blaming one thing or the other. Tonight, I believe God will help us as we are answering the questions to know how you can lay a quality foundation for your relationship, how you can maintain quality foundation for your marriage. As a matter of fact, there's no wrong wife, there's no wrong husband.
That's a
you have only
answer.
Yes, you have only bad wives and bad husbands.
There is no wrong husband. We only have bad wives and bad husbands. Wow.
Very simple.
Please unpack that, sir.
I'm coming. Now, do you know in the Bible, there's a woman that you pastors hate a lot, but we like her. That woman is called Jezebel. You look at the life of Jezebel and Ahab, she never gave Ahab trouble one day. She used her nuisance value to deal with enemies of Ahab. But at home, she romanced and took care of the husband. But we see her as a very bad person. Ahab understood the kind of wife he married and had peace. Very simple. So whenever Ahab was feeling down and low, the wife would come and say, darling, why are you like this? Why is your face like this? She leaves the compound, she leaves the house and gets out of the compound and looks for any enemy of Ahab and crushes. Even your senior brother Elijah ran when this woman wrecked. But at home, she was a good wife to the husband. Very important. Do you know that you can get married to somebody that you love? When you are dating, you are in love, you are happy, and as soon as you get married, things change. Because love before marriage is not the same as love after marriage. It can never be. So things change. What happened? Number one thing that happened is you have changed, not your partner. You have changed, not your partner. So the responsibility for a working relationship or a working marriage is on you, not on your partner. So when you begin to look at you, your partner's life will begin to change. Because science told us, Newton's third law of motion, that action and reaction are equal and opposite. Now, Bible tells us what you sow is what you reap. If you want to have a good relationship, sow a good seed, not just on the relationship, on your life, on personal development. Because somebody's bad wife or wrong wife, the way they say it, can be somebody's good wife. Just that the person that began to enjoy the woman found her to be a good wife because she decided to study her and understand her. We marry our partners mostly on our terms. On our terms. So I think that as we move forward, that God will help us to unpack these loads to bless people more. Thank you.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Oh, hey, no, yeah, no, I know that tonight is going to be awesome. I know that we are in for a good time. You know, I've never thought about it the way you put it. There is no wrong wife or wrong husband. There is only a bad wife and a bad husband. And the person is bad because they have not understood their partner and how to live with their partner.
Yes.
Man of God, this revelation you put on Jezebel today, yeah, I will repent of calling her a bad woman everywhere. she was only bad outside, but good inside.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, sir. All right, we're gonna start. There are a few questions that I have for you, sir. As we answer these questions, we're gonna be unraveling and unpacking the theme: wisdom for building stronger relationships. All right. Now, yeah. So let's go with the first one, sir. After many failed relationships, how do you know if it is you or it's just bad relationships happening to you? So a single person or a married person who has failed relationship after relationship, how do you know it's you are the problem, or it's just that you have not been lucky to find somebody that it clicked with you and them? Talk to us, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, that's will bring me to the first principle, or the principal wisdom for a stronger relationship. What is that principal wisdom? Turn the heat of change on you. Turn the heat of change on you. Do you know what? That it is better you spend your energy, spend your time, spend your resources becoming the right person than looking for Mr. Right or Miss Right.
Wow.
Because you attract your kind of person. Everybody attracts his kind of person. A Casanova guy will attract a slave queen who has no brain. You attract your kind of person. So the more you transform, the more you change, the more the quality of persons you attract increase. Now, if you have been having failed relationships, please, the first thing I beg you to do is to sit down and do what we call proactive feedback. Proactive feedback.
Yeah.
Sit down. The Bible says that the Lord said to my Lord, sit at my right hand. That is, God walked out of God and was talking to God. Sit down and walk out of yourself and talk to yourself. Am I really the right person? Pastor, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
When you were looking for wife, if you were a woman, will you marry you? That's what I call proactive feedback. If you were a woman, will you marry you?
Yes, sir.
It can help us appreciate now that our wives took major risk in marrying some of us.
Major risk.
Now, if you're a single person now, you have been having fair relationships, look at yourself. If you are the opposite gender, will you marry you? If your answer is no, you self-develop. You work on yourself. Most young people today, and even married people, they keep emphasizing, love me the way I am. If you don't love me the way I am, you don't really love me. I know you have heard it several.
Yes.
But it's a blasphemy. It's a blasphemy. If you remain the way you were when you married your wife, you will have a peaceful home today. You developed yourself. She developed herself.
Yes.
I know you have eaten yam at least this year. If they gave you a tuber of yam, will you eat it raw?
No, you have to cook it.
You have to cook it.
If somebody gives you goat meat raw, will you eat it?
No.
How do you expect somebody to love you the way you are? Meanwhile, the ones they loved you before has failed. The one they loved you before has failed. And you want them to love you the same way you are. And you say it's a demon? No. Demons capitalize on our ignorance, on our stupidity and foolishness. That's where they capitalize. So you work on the areas you are foolish. I work on the areas I'm foolish. I have a better marriage. A woman opened her husband's phone and saw an SMS from a side chick. A side chick is somebody that a man is keeping relationship with outside his marriage. When she saw it, it was an emotional message. What did she do? She ran to their sitting room and carried hammer and broke the television. Went outside, broke the husband's car windscreen. The husband came back and got angry and said the marriage is over. And they were headed for divorce. And they began to ask, what broke that marriage?
Did we go?
Do you know it is not slave queen that broke that marriage? It's not phone, woman looking into the husband's phone that broke that marriage. What broke that marriage is incontinence. Lack of self-control on the side of the woman. And lack of self-control on the side of the man, that everything that we are scared, he must look at it. And then when the woman got angry, she began to scatter things, and they got to the marriage and broke the marriage. So what does she need to work on? You may leave the phone alone if you want. What you need to work on is your temperament. Because what happens to you is not as important as how you react.
Wow.
So that's why some relationships fail and they keep failing, because there's no self-development. And marriages are still frustrated today because there's no self-development. Please let me say this before you ask me the next question. I said there are no wrong wives, there are no wrong husbands. But there are bad wives and bad husbands.
Yes.
I said you can be well married to God's perfect will and still live in marital frustration.
Yes.
A pastor had asked me before. The Bible said that the blessing of the Lord makes rich and has no sorrow.
And adds no sorrow.
And the Bible said that he that findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtain favor from the Lord. I return back to the person with a simple illustration. God's servant. Let us say you have a gift of 2020 Prado Jeep. After such service is dedicated, and you want to drive the car home, and all your assistants, including your wife, they know that you don't know how to drive, and you jumped in to drive the car home, and they're begging you, Daddy, man of God, please let somebody drive this car home. You say, no, it is the blessing of the Lord. I must enjoy it. I've been believing God for car for years. I must drive this one. Yet you are an amateur driver or a non-driver. What will happen to that driver and the car?
Both of them, they are going to meet Jesus.
The car will be found in the mechanic workshop. The driver will be found in the hospital ICU. That's what happens when people get married without training themselves, preparing themselves. Or people are inside marriage without studying to develop themselves vis-a-vis their partner. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. Hey, Pastor Joe, you are hitting it. You are hitting it so good tonight. God bless you, sir. You know, there's something you said. There's something you said that I want us to go back again before we take another question. The issue that you mentioned, like that illustration where the woman gets angry, carries hammer, and you know what is interesting? I have actually experienced that kind of scenario where a woman, every time she gets angry, she just destroys things in the house. Now, if somebody, you know, and you said it is not what happened to you, but it's how you react to what happened to you that is creating the problems. How do you advise somebody who is plagued by such temperament, such vituperations, such behavior? How does the person, what can the person do to help themselves? Yes.
Very simple. Number one is this may not sound acceptable to most people, but that's the best thing. The moment you have a habit or a disposition that you can't manage, hand yourself over to somebody to manage you temporarily.
Wow.
Be responsible to somebody's instruction. You can go and meet a counselor, professional counselor, not just a pastor, professional counselor. But the closest to most people is their pastor. And let him hold you responsible. Not just somebody you go to. Not just somebody you go to, they pray deliverance prayer for you. No. Someone that will sit you down and share scriptures that will help you think before they pray for you. In Africa, everything is deliverance. And such a person will run to somebody somewhere, they pray for him or for her. Tomorrow it continues. Sit down and learn. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Learn what to submit yourself to, what to meditate on. What part of the Holy Spirit can help you? That's the fruit of the Spirit. And how do you develop the fruit of the Spirit? Called temperance. By being offended several times. And you enjoy it.
That's right.
So somebody needs to talk to you. It's not a gift. Nobody can gift you with cold water. No, so they will not be angry again. Anger is a gift. It's a personal disposition. But how to manage it? Submit yourself to somebody. Let the person talk with you and hold you responsible for further actions. From there, you can improve. Then number two, submit yourself to the Holy Spirit. Be sincere. He can transform. He can change anybody. Be sincere. Go talk to him. If you need to cry to him, cry. Be sincere with him and let him help you come out of that situation.
Okay, amen. Before we go on, if you are watching us and you have questions, please post them in the comment section and we'll be able to take those questions a little bit as we go on. So please post your questions and we will attempt to take those questions as we go on.
All right. Pastor Joe, there's something that I observed. My wife and I, we are marriage counselors here. We have helped so many couples over the years. People who attend our marriage clinic and our seminars, people come back to us for counseling and so on. There's a phenomenon that we have seen, and I'm sure you will have also seen the same in your ministry over the years, helping married people all around the world, where people are itchy to leave their marriage because they say, I married the wrong person. I married the wrong person. What advice do you have for someone who the devil has told that the reason why things are not working is because they married the wrong person? How can you help that person? Because your opening statement is that there are no wrong wives, there are no wrong husbands. We only have bad wives and bad husbands. Some people they deeply believe it. I married the wrong person. That's why I need to get out so that I can go and look for the right person. Talk to us, sir.
Okay. Number one, I did something some 23 years ago when I met my wife. Before we began to talk about getting married, we decided to have some agreements from the beginning. And one of the codes we developed was that we cannot at any time use the D word. That divorce.
Yeah, divorce. Yeah.
No matter what happens, we die there. That's what I told my wife. That's what we agreed. Then we died there has not started as a slang. But we told ourselves that no matter what happens, we're in it together. It can't cross our mind. It can never be a language in our house. It can't be a word in our house. Now, any word we begin to use, it comes from your mind. And the moment a mind says we are not compatible, There are terrible words Christians shouldn't use. It's not in the Bible. There's nothing like compatibility in the Bible. You are a more powerful Bible student than me. Have you seen it anywhere, no matter the translation? We are not called to marry our compatible partners. No. Now, when you are dating, you are in a relationship, you're in courtship, that's when compatibility is important. Just for want of words, you use compatibility. It's very important. There are certain signals. I'm talking to people that are contemplating divorce. There are certain signals you saw when you were dating. People don't easily change, you know. Most things you see in your husband today, they were there before you said I do. They only grow, you know, bigger and bigger and develop. Now, when you are in courtship, you see some signals. Like a man has hit you twice. You are dating, he has hit you twice and apologized and cried and begged you. And you went ahead and married the man. Who told you God has not told you before not to marry him? You went ahead and married him. So now you are telling us you married the wrong. No, you married the right person. The kind of person your stupidity attracted. Very important. Now, some of us are Christians. What do? When such things happen, we go to pastor. Pastor, we beg, say forgive. Any man who has hit you twice shouldn't be your husband. Now you are married. You are contemplating divorce. What do? Number one, remove the word divorce first. Keep it by the side. The moment your mentality tells you you are wrongly married, the same mentality cannot produce solution.
Wow, Pastor Joe, that's a bombshell.
The same mind cannot produce solution.
Wow,
very important. Because you can't solve a problem with the same mindset by which it was created. So there has to be a shift. So relax first. There are 3 or 4 marriage lies I need to address now, in case that's your question.
Please,
can I go ahead?
Hit it. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, please.
Number one major marriage lie is that marriage is only to be enjoyed and not to be endured. It's a religious fallacy, social deception. Marriage, if you take away endurance from marriage, you have boyfriend and girlfriend relationship. No commitment. There is part of your wife, part of your husband. You must, I use the word must, endure. That might not change until Jesus comes. Number 2 lie is that marriage is all about my happiness. Marriage is all about my happiness. It's not true. Marriage is all about the purpose of God for 2 of you. It's not just about your happiness. I advise some people, instead of you pulling out of the marriage, you may not be enjoying your marriage as a wife. Please enjoy it as a mother. Because the purpose of getting married is not only, baby, I love you, baby, I love you. If you are not enjoying it presently as a wife or a husband, relax. Enjoy it as a mother or as a father. In the future, we see the dividend of the wisdom. Number 3 marriage lie is that we are not compatible. Inside marriage, you can't be. Pastor, if your wife thinks exactly the same way you think, your marriage will not go longer than it is now. Differences make salad more expensive than coleslaw. In coleslaw, you mangle everything together with mayonnaise. Mix it together. In salad, all the vegetables are different. Even the mayonnaise is dropped by the side of the plate. So the difference in marriages makes it sweeter. So when you force your partner to be like you, think like you, talk like you, eat like you, sleep like you, there should be a lot of frictions that can lead to divorce. So what do? Release your partner. Release your partner to be herself, to be himself under God. The final lie I want to share about marriage is that my private immorality does not affect my marriage.
That's a lie.
My private infidelity or unfaithfulness doesn't affect my marriage. It's not true. The moment a heart is attached, every heart for love has one hole. One hole. Go to the hospital and check. Tell them to show you the place where love stays. It's only one hole. At any point in time, one human being stays there. One heart stays there. So the moment you begin to have outside runs in your marriage, gradually your intimacy is breaking apart, breaking apart, breaking apart. Before you know it, you begin to say what you don't want to tell your partner. Before you know it, you begin to scream, I am even tired in this marriage. I am tired. From I am tired, the other one shouts because of ego, I want a divorce. So let's watch these 4 lies. Finally, what do you do when divorce is facing you? Behavior of your partner is giving you nightmares. Number 1, don't get saddled with solving problems or trying to fix what is wrong in your marriage. It's a wrong attitude. What do? Begin to develop new relational habits.
Wow.
That's why I don't do counseling. It's for you, Pastor. I do coaching. A coach gives instructions. A mentor gives instructions. A counselor gives advice. A counselor gives advice. If we are going to get marriages work in this dispensation, every pastor should move from being a pastor to a mentor and a coach.
Yes.
Now, what do? Develop habits, better habits than you had. If you have returned fire for fire, learn how to have a lot of water by your side as a new habit. Wow. When fire comes, you bring water. You are not doing it before, but that's the new thing. As you keep doing it, what you are sowing, you begin to reap in the life of your partner.
Amen. Wow. Amen.
God bless you. Next question, sir.
Hey.
Okay, so from what I hear you saying, sir, like you said at the beginning, you work on yourself. You work on yourself. You can leave your partner, but you work on yourself. Working on yourself will help you be able to build a solid relationship, build a solid marriage, but also keep you building that strong marriage if you keep working on yourself. That's what yes. I've gathered from what you've just said.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
I should throw more light on it.
Another question here. Yes, or you want to say something, sir? Go for it.
Now, what I mean by working on yourself is there's a recent research that has it that if you are married for not less than 36 months, that whatever your spouse becomes, either for good or for bad, you contributed majority of it. Because you are the closest person to that your partner. And we live by influence. Human beings live by influence. So if you change the power of your influence by working on yourself, you can gradually impact the life of your partner. That's the light I wanted to throw on.
Wow, that's a powerful one. So just riding on that. So what would you say are the keys for building a healthy relationship? What are some of the keys for building a healthy relationship?
Okay, I've actually mentioned one or two of them, but let me now add. Number 1, for emphasis, invest in yourself. Become the right person. Whether you are single or married, become the right person. Become the right person. Number 2, make your communication an investment, not an expenditure. Make your communication an investment, not an expenditure.
Please, you have to please expound on that statement.
Obviously.
Yes.
Number 3, master your emotions. Master your emotions. Master your emotions, both negative and positive emotions. The number 4, major on building new relational values. Major on building new relationship or relational values. The number 5 for now, know what to do when love seems not working. Know what to do when love seems not working. And then finally, before I give small explanations.
Okay.
Finally, maximize the blessings of your matrimonial bed.
Okay.
Praise God.
Yes.
Come on, sir.
So
now I've handled 1 and 2. Let me look at making your communication.
Yes.
Hello, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, no, that's it. Go start with that one, the communication one, sir.
Yeah.
Now, make your communication an investment, not expenditure.
Yes.
How do you make your communication an expenditure? There are 3 variants of communication. 3 variants of communication. And I want to also later give us 3 qualities of communication. Number 1 variant of communication, which makes your communication as an expenditure, is talking at. Just the word talking at. The second one is talking to. These 2 variants of communication makes your communication an expenditure. What is talking at? This variant sponsors quarrels, vituperations. When you throw words at each other without waiting for response, you hit the person with words, cover the face with words, command the person, shout at the person with anger. That's what we call talking at. This is expenditure. There's no gain in it. You're spending your energy, expending the emotions of your partner. The next one is talking to. When you issue commands and not make demands. No matter how educated you are, how wealthy you are, you don't issue commands to your partner. You make demands. You issue command to house helps, domestic assistants, secretaries. But for a partner, you don't issue command. The third one that makes your communication an investment, the beginning, is called talking with. That is conversationalism. Talking with. That's you talk, allow your partner to respond. Without anger, without raising voices, you are discussing. It can be developed, you can build it. Yeah. Then, major quality of communication is what we call imaginative communication. Africans call it, put yourself in my shoe before you talk to me. Before you talk to your partner, take cognizance of the position, the state of your partner. If it is you that is spoken to that way, how will you feel? So imaginative communication. You can remember when God sent Ezekiel to go and talk to the captive Jews in Ezekiel chapter 3. The same message God gave Jeremiah. Jeremiah went there and blew fire and brimstone and cursed all of them for their sins. When Ezekiel got there, the Bible says in verse 15, he sat where they sat for 7 days. After he had sat where they sat, he began to talk to them. So imaginative communication is before you talk to your partner, think it twice. If I am talked to this way, how will I feel?
Wow.
It will make your relationship stronger. Then communication as an edification tool. When you, whatever you are saying to your partner at any point in time can either build him up or throw or bring him down. There are some married persons, after some years, one of the partners begin to lose self-esteem because of the kind of words he or she hears from the partner. Because that's the closest person to him begin to lose self-esteem. The kind of words that drop out of the mouth of some partners, they gradually kill their marriage by killing the emotions and the minds, the mentality of the other person. A soft word turn it away rot. It doesn't matter the intensity of the rot. When the word is soft, it can turn it away. So we work on our communication. That will help us. What's the next point?
The next point there is master your emotions.
Very, very simple. The Bible says that he that cannot have charge over his spirit is like a city without walls. Anything can happen to it. I think that Proverbs 16, I think verse 32 also. Anything can happen to it. So master your emotions. Be in charge of your emotions. Be in charge of your emotions. If you are not in charge of your emotions, you can flare up. You can, just like that woman we talked about now. Do you know that how your wife reacts or how your husband reacts is dependent on the consequence is as a result of how you react to what your husband says or what your wife says. So if you master your emotions, you're in charge of your emotions, you calm down. One of the ways to master emotions is to learn to go to the Holy Spirit and meditate on the fruit of the Holy Spirit. Practical. Give yourself to the Holy Ghost. I'm not saying speaking in tongues. Speaking in tongues can be a gift, but the fruit of the Spirit is generated out of some time of maturity, staying with Him. Do you know, sir? In mastering your emotion, it is better, more fruitful to be called a woman rapper and you are very happy. You are very healthy, than to be frustrated as a man's trouser. This person is dying, he's unhealthy, he's claiming I'm a man. Marriage, for you to have peace and enjoy lasting relationship, you must have a second degree in the department of taking rubbish and drinking water. This is rubbish from my wife, from my husband. I decide not to react. I collect it, swallow, drink water, life continues. And to react all the time. Of course, that's the difference between boys and men, girls and women. Men take certain things and just do. Boys will respond with their fists. Boys will fight. Boys will sit down and nag more than their wives. Men will walk away from that place of conflict. Women will shout from here to anywhere. But, I mean, girls or women will be patient and calm. So that's the difference. So master your emotions, especially the negative emotions.
Mm.
If you're a single person, in mastering your negative emotions, learn to also master your positive emotions. Don't make too much promises as a single person when you know you may not be able to fulfill it. And most guys, when they are happy, they can promise heaven and earth to a woman. You have to learn how to master your positive emotions.
Okay.
Praise God.
All right. Let's run an advert. We're gonna come back. We taking an ad break, and we're gonna come back in a few minutes.
That's wisdom there. Yeah. You know. You know.
Why are you still single? Do you feel you're not ready yet? Do you say it's not my time yet? Have you made mistakes in the past and now you're stuck in a complicated situation? Or perhaps you've given up totally on the idea of marriage? Why not join Pastor Chuksogoye, author of The Amazing Power of Woman book, and his wife, Pastor Toyin, the founders of the Power of Woman Academy, at the next Single Ladies Boot Camp to explore and answer your questions? A big miracle could be waiting for you. For more information, visit www.stlbc.co.za or WhatsApp 081 421 0835.
All right. Well, welcome back. We are tonight on SLBC. We are having the next SLBC. SLBC is our outreach to single ladies. It's the Single Ladies Boot Camp. Our next one is the June 26th to June 28th. The SLBC is a weekend where we take time to address single women and all the things that they have to know to move from being single to being married. Now, this will be the first time we are doing it online because of the coronavirus and the lockdown. It's going to be online, and registrations have opened. We have the details for the registration can be found at slbc.co.za. slbc.co.za. It's one weekend where we are going to address all the things that you need to know to move from being single to being married. I will talk about it again before we go and shed more light on the Single Ladies Boot Camp. But go check out the website slbc.co.za. All right, we'll be back with the seminar at Tanga this Friday shortly. All right, welcome back. Reverend Joe.
God bless you.
Okay. We are grateful for your time and your wisdom. My goodness. It's so many things that you have dropped. They are like nuclear explosions. Thank you. All right.
Wow.
The next point there that you raised on the keys to building a healthy relationship is a major on building new relational values. Major on building new relational values. Please, sir, can you unpack it?
Now, for example, there are people from their foundation, from their background, are not given to tolerance. There are some people from their background that are not given to tolerance. And then when they get married, they don't take rubbish. They don't tolerate. And then that keeps bringing up crisis at home. So you can build up that tolerance. Just learn how to tolerate is a habit. The number two, there are some people, men, that cannot assist in chores. Now, it's not everybody that can assist in chores. There are certain things you can do to make your wife happier. just contribute to make your wife happier. Somebody like me, I don't know how to cook. I know Pastor Chooks, I know you cook very well.
I can try a little bit.
You can try a little bit.
It's
So
not my happy place, but I can try a little bit.
but there are some things I can do in the house just when we are together, just to help, that I have not been doing before. I just learned to do them just to help. Then another habit you can build is, there are some people men that don't come home on time. When they close from work, they may go to somewhere, visit one friend or the other before they get home. And then you can build it as a habit, develop it as a new habit, to be an early bird. Just come home on time and stay with your family and chat and discuss. Another habit is intimacy routine, like watching movies together, having recreations together. There's some couples that don't have time for it. For example, there are some movies my wife like watching. I don't like such movies. But if I see that they will help us to connect, I will just sit down by her side as she's watching it, and then I can just laugh any kind of laughter. But let it be that we are together. It's a habit to stay together, to bond together. And then there are other habits we can form that can help us. If you're a wife, you can develop a habit of talking with your husband when he's back from business or back from work. It can be a habit as he is eating. If you didn't eat together, staying by the side, instead of doing some other things, you can have a habit by this, staying by his side and gisting and talking and keeping him company. Now, there is a habit, traditional habit all over the world, especially in Africa, that we should unlearn. That is waking your spouse up middle of the night to say, I want to discuss something with you. Very wrong habit, a traditional habit. Secondly, wives, don't ever again tell your husband, honey, we will talk. We will talk. Now, these two things we will talk. Don't say you will talk. Find a convenient time and start the talk. The moment you book, we will talk. Some men, their hearts will fly away. Some will develop IBP because he doesn't know what we are going to discuss. Then waking somebody at the middle of the night to say, honey, let's discuss, is wrong. You are infringing on fundamental human rights.
I hear you.
The righteous shall lie down, he shall sleep, and sweet shall be his sleep. Why will you interrupt it?
Yes.
But on a practical basis, it makes that person to lose control of himself at that time. The answers you may give will not be the best. So how do you handle such issues? Develop a habit of watching and seeing a convenient time when your partner is relaxed. You start talking. Don't say we will talk. Start talking. Provided you are watched, it's a relaxed moment, it's a good ambience to talk. You start talking. Don't book a time. It's old tradition. Certain things that worked in 1970 in marriages don't work again. Another example. Your mother or your father or your parents or grandparents would have told you that the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. I know you heard it from your village. It is not true anymore. It worked in 1970s when there was no fast food joints. Every man must eat it. So now if you use food, you want to use food to punish your husband or to go to your husband, he will finish eating outside and come back and tell you are not come. Yet you have not got into his heart. Very, very important. So what is the way to a man's heart? Is the good heart of the wife. The good heart of the wife. Deep, college unto deep. Is the good heart, good understanding of the wife. So these are new habits we can begin to develop and drop some ancient traditional habits. Another habit you can develop is take it upon yourself not to call your mother or your father, your cousin, your brother, your relative when you have issues. Make it a habit. Some people have this terrible habit that if cockroach falls from their zinc, their mother must hear it. Any small thing that happens, once the elder sister must hear it, the younger sister must hear it. No.
Apostle must hear it.
If anybody should hear it, let it be an unbiased umpire. Me, I don't teach that there should be no third party in marriage. It's an ancient teaching. It doesn't work. There should be third party, but the third party has a caveat. It shouldn't be your relative. Should be an independent person, matured person. Because no third party in marriage, no third party in marriage. That's how you see people kill their partners. He has been violent on this lady for years. No third party, no third party. Before you know it, she is dead. No third party, no third party. She carries matches from the kitchen and say, I'm playing with my husband. The next day, from that playing, the man is gone. So when there are extreme violence and activities, you should tell somebody. But the habit of every time your family members know everything happening in your house is a habit you should unlearn. So that you can move on together. Because when issue happens between you and your partner, and your family members have heard it, even when you have settled, it will not settle in them. The same mind with which they saw your husband that day, forever, they will think that he's a wicked man. She's a wicked woman. So sort it out with an independent umpire. God bless you, sir.
Thank you, sir. All right, we go to the next one. You said here, know what to do when love seems not working.
Wow.
Please.
Wow. Wow. There are sometimes, let me talk to singles, people that are dating, or people that somebody comes to talk to you about marriage. I've had it from many counselees or many consultees that said, I feel in my heart that is the man meant for me, but I don't feel anything for him. I don't feel anything. Some people will come say, I want to leave this man. Why? There's no love again. I don't love him again. I don't love her again. A central biblical truth that needs thinking and rethinking and meditation before you understand is love is not the major criteria for marriage. Love is not the major reason you should marry somebody. It's a biblical truth that you don't understand on the face value. But we advise, please marry someone you love. Very, very advisable. But much more productive is to love the person that you already married. Do whatever you can to love the person you already married. Now, what do you do when love seems not to be working in marriage? Number one, you must understand the correlation between like and love. Okay. If you understand the relationship between like and love, it will be easier for you. It will help you to recover your love. Most people say love when they mean like. Especially when they're not yet married. Everybody you see on Facebook that had put her picture very well, and you begin to chat the person, the next thing is, baby, I love you. And the baby returns, love you too. Which is wrong. I love you response should be thank you, not love you too. Now, when suddenly you feel that what you like is not there anymore, you now say, I don't love again. So what do? When there's no love again in marriage, don't struggle with it. Go back to what you liked about the person. There must be something. Nobody is completely bad. There must be something for which you like somebody. Emphasize that thing you like. Love will gradually return gradually. We call that thing you like threshold attraction. In my book, Get Married in 12 Months, it's called threshold attraction. What attracted you to your partner? It can be a tangible virtue, it can be an intangible virtue, what you cannot explain. Number two thing you do when love seems not working, this is the most practical. Begin to do kind things to the person. Say kind words to the person. Gradually, love will begin to build up in your heart. Because love actually is not a noun. Love is a verb. Is a verb. If you go to 1 Corinthians 13, you discover that love is a verb. If you go to John 3:16, you discover that love is a verb. If you check throughout the Bible, majority of the places, love is what we do, not what we say. So start doing what you would have said if it was easy for you to say I love you. Start doing those things. Start helping out. Start saying kind words. In that situation, gradually, love will return back.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. Okay. Hey, man of God, you are really blessing us tonight. We are so grateful for the wisdom of God flowing from you and through you. I know it's years of study, years of ministry in this area. God bless you. You are a blessing to the body of Christ. You're a blessing,
Amen.
sir.
Thank you, man.
Yes, sir. The last one you mentioned there is maximize the blessings of your matrimonial bed. Please unpack that for us.
Very simple. The beginning of maximizing this blessing is when you are not yet married. You must have a conviction and an understanding around love and sex. If you have a thwarted, convoluted understanding of love and sex before you get married, you might get it wrong inside the marriage. Because love is not sex, and sex is not love, both inside and outside marriage. If your conviction is that love is sex, you will have some frustrations inside marriage. If your conviction is that sex is love, you have frustrations before you get married. So get it right that we are not going to sleep together before we get married. It is called fornication. It is called fornication. And it's a language that social media doesn't want to hear. But that is what God calls it. Now, it is not just about going to hell. Let me give you the implication of premarital sex a little bit before I get into matrimonial bed. I will begin to draw the curtain. Number one implication is this. Now, sex is more than biology.
Yes, sir.
Let me complete the sentence. Life is more than marriage. Is worth noting. Life is more than marriage. Marriage is more than sex. Sex is more than biology. Life is more than marriage.
Okay. Yes,
Marriage
yes.
is more than sex. Sex is more than biology or physiology.
Yes.
The first one is that life is more than marriage. You can fulfill a quality, resounding destiny without getting married.
Yes.
Everybody must not be married. So marriage is not by force. Number two, marriage is more than sex. It's bigger than sex. Sex is just a small part of it, but very, very important. And then sex is more than physiology or biology. That's where I'm talking about now. What happens when a man and a woman sleep together is much more than exchange of seminal fluids. The Bible says in chapter 4 of Ecclesiastes, from verse 9 to 12, it says, at around verse 11, when two is better than one.
Yes.
When they lie together, the King James says they got it. That word got it there is a transfer of virtue that happens when sex happens. There's a spiritual transfer of virtue. Spirits are transferred. If you argue it, ask your friend or your neighbor, how did you appear on this earth as a human being? Do you believe that man is made up of spirit, soul, and body?
Yes.
When was your spirit formed? When was your spirit generated? When your mother met with your father, or your father met with your mother, or whoever met with whoever, and you manifested. That was when the spirit was generated. Now, when there is sexual intercourse, something much more than form takes place. Powers are transferred, virtues are transferred. So when people that are not married are having sex, it is difficult and impossible, very, very impossible, to be stable in determining the perfect will of God for them. Because sex affects the hypothalamus part of the brain more than any part of our body. That's where, when orgasm takes place, that's where hormones are dropped before they go down to our bloodstreams. It affects how we think. That's why when adrenaline of a man is high, he loses some sensibilities. So when you are not yet married, please stay away from having sexual intercourse, because it will make you to be foolish in determining the senses that is available. You may not even know whether this guy loves you or not if you're already involved in sex. Then inside marriage, how do you maximize matrimonial bed? Husband and wife approach sex with this understanding that you are going to give pleasure, not just to go and receive pleasure. I'm going there to give pleasure. In giving pleasure, you receive. Very important. Not to take your partner as a libido maintenance machine. No, there are some couples that are like that, especially men. When they just feel hot, they drag the person and do whatever they want to do and walk away. And then she must do, because she's a Christian. So make it a celebration by understanding these two dynamics, or three. Number one, quality marital sex is intentional. I call it ministry. If you are still having children, it's called the ministry of works, labor, and productivity. If you have finished having children, it is called the ministry of tourism and economic development.
Okay, now.
Now, before you approach that ministry, be intentional about it. Show love, show care as a habit. That's how you maximize that food. Because a woman may not really enjoy the matrimonial bed if she's not convinced that the husband really loves her and cares for her. But a man, all a man needs to enjoy matrimonial bed is for his body to be hot, for him to need it. That is on the general terms. So be intentional about it. And finally, be emotional. In Proverbs chapter 5, 17, 18, 19, 20, is a scripture I would like you to open for yourself. Let and read. That place tells us the major dynamics of sex. Be emotional about it. Go to that place and enjoy it. It's your own. Enjoy it yourself. Your own. And then do whatever God says you should do there. Go there, you see what you should do there. It's not what I saw on the internet. But I need to even say it. I need to say it. It's very important to enjoy sex and then have orgasm. Because it is in having orgasm that the benefits of sex begin to manifest. There are quality benefits of sex science has discovered now. That's what made me to understand that Proverbs chapter 5 more and more. That quality sex between husband and wife can deal with a lot of issues in our bodies. You can browse it. Health benefits of sex. And it only happens when there is orgasm. That is the height of sexual pleasure between husband and wife. May God bless you. In Jesus' name.
Amen. Amen. Okay. Thank you so much. I want to. There's a question here from a single person. It says, what relationship facts should one know before getting married?
Okay.
What are the relationship facts one should know before getting married?
Okay, let me give you a little expo because I have my major seminar on Facebook on Sunday, but let me give expo from there.
Okay.
Number one, you should know much. Mark the word, much, about the person you're about to get married to. You should know much as you can. Number one fact you should know is that person's level of personal relationship with God. It is beyond knowing the church he worships. That person's personal commitment to God. How do you know people's personal relationship with God? How they relate and talk to human beings. Somebody can be leader of fire or a pastor, general overseer of a church, and he wants to get married, and you are relating with him. And each time you come together, he says, let us pray. Each time he comes together, he says, let us pray. One day, tell him to hold on. Let us discuss first before you pray. When the person gets angry, how does he react when he gets angry? How does he react when he gets angry? That is character. The level of encounters he has had with God. So that number one thing you should know. Number two, how does he respect women? If it's the man, how does he regard women? How does he talk about women? If you're a woman and a guy is coming close to you, thinking about marriage, what do you find out? How does he regard? Does he respect women? Does he talk anyhow about women? Ask him about some women in his past. He may not know why you are asking the question. How did their relationships end? That might be a clue of how your own is going to be. If you're a guy and you're about to marry a lady, find out from her, how does she regard men? What does a man mean to you? How does she regard fathers? Very important. Now that you find out, I was counseling somebody or talking with somebody recently, and I asked her, you want to marry this person? Say, how old is this person? He said, Daddy, I don't know. You don't know the age of the person that I want to marry. When I ask him, he says, is it important? Is it important? Please, anybody that says that certain things that are important are not important, you should reconsider moving forward. Age may not be an issue, but we should know our ages. It's very, very important. Find out who are the person's relations that you know. Very important. Let the person not tell you, I am from Joburg. Where? Which side of that place are you from? I'm from Lagos. Which side of Lagos are you from? I'm from Port Harcourt. Find out. Please ask questions. Ask questions. If he or she is tired of giving answer to your questions, reconsider going back. Very important. Finally, find out what the person is doing. You should be sure of the person's career or business or endeavor.
Yeah.
If you're a woman, don't be a lady that sits down looking for husbands. It's wrong. Be a lady that husbands are looking for. Husband materials are looking for. There's a difference between the two. If all your prayer points, all your passion, all your desire as a woman is to get married, there's no other thing you are doing, no work, is to get married. I advise that nobody should marry you.
Wow.
Until you are doing something.
Yeah.
Rebecca was doing something. Rachel was doing something. Very important. And then don't marry a man who tells you, I want to marry you, You ask him, what are you doing? He said, I'm believing God. Use your faith and your energy with which you are chasing a woman to chase a job and have something in your hands. Most times, when a guy has finished school, he's hustling from here and there, he doesn't have a job, he's still squatting, he spends his energy on dating a girl. For the girl to agree quickly, he says, I will marry you. Ask him, what work are you doing? What are your plans? What plans are you chasing and pursuing? Very important. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. You know, there's so much that single people need to know to approach this subject of getting married. Now, someone has put it this way, it says, dating is about data collection. Dating
Correct.
is about data collection. And let me just drop something there in addition to what Pastor Joe had mentioned. You can't truly love someone you don't know. You can't truly love someone you don't know. It's actually, to love someone means you know them and then you made a decision based on what you know. And this is why when people jump into premature sexual exposure, it confuses the whole process of getting to know this person, because now you are knowing them in ways that you're not supposed to be knowing them because you started with sex. Instead of, investing energy in sexual expenditure, why don't you invest the energy to build a relationship, to know them, spend time with them in different scenarios? I teach that. In 1998, when I was chasing my wife, now my wife, then it was a sister that I met in the fellowship that I started in Lagos. I remember having to go to her office. Early 98. I came there during lunchtime and I sat there, for like maybe an hour or less. And I just wanted to observe, because I only knew her at church. I only know her when she came to fellowship. And, so that day I decided, let me go and find out where she works. And I remember, I can never forget that day. I was shocked at what I saw. This woman was a manager who was in charge of a whole department, ran the department with such efficiency. I saw her bosses, the owners of the company that she was working for, the way they respected her, the way they trusted her. I saw the way that the colleagues that were working under her respected her. I could observe so much in 45 minutes, 1 hour that I was there. And I remember walking away from that place. I said, I've never seen her in this light, because when she comes to church, she's just that one sister who sits at the back and greets, and then after church, she just walks away. She never sat in front. She was always a backbencher, go and sit at the back. And, but that day, seeing her in action, wow. I got an understanding of another side of her. And I remember saying to myself, as I left that place and I was walking away, I didn't have a car at that time. I was walking away. I said to myself, I will marry this woman. This is what I'm looking for. Someone who could take charge, someone who could run things, someone who could hold their own at the back, hold the back office and hold it well. I saw it that day. Now, that is the part of her that I never saw at church. So it's important when you are dating someone to see them in different scenarios. I remember one lady that I met in 1997. I met her at a church camp. I was invited to a camp by one of my spiritual mentors. And he used to run these camps once in a quarter or something. So we went to this camp, and I met this lady there. So we became friends, and we connected at the camp. So the friendship spilled after the camp, and I remember, I don't know where we were going, and she came and picked me up in her car, and we were going there, and I saw her in action in traffic. Lord have mercy. I saw her in action at a petrol station. In fact, what I saw at the petrol station and the way she behaved there, I knew that she cannot be my wife. Right there, I made a decision. I can't deal with this. Because I saw a part of her that, man, I just said to myself, no way, this cannot work for me. So it's important to find opportunity to meet this person and see them in different scenarios. Someone once told me a story, or told us a story at one of our single ladies boot camp, of this guy that she was considering until they went to watch a soccer match. And then she saw him in action at a soccer match. She couldn't, this brother that she always sees praying in tongues and, carrying a big Bible in church. When she saw the man at the soccer pitch, she could not believe it. The man removed his shirt, removed his singlet, removed everything, and he was screaming at the top of his voice. This is the brother that, is always gentle at church and praying in tongues. She never saw that part. But he gave her an idea of what she was getting into. So it's important to spend time getting data about this person in different scenarios. Go with them to meet their relatives. See how they behave at home. See how their younger ones or their older ones, relate to them. See their schoolmates that they went to secondary school or university with. See how they treat him. See how you get an idea of who this person is and whether this is what you want or this is what you cannot handle. It's important that we spend the time in the days before you make a decision, finding out as much as possible about this person. Hallelujah. All right. Let me see how we are doing with time. Oh, man of God.
Wow.
We are like 5 minutes just left for the session. I don't know if you are available for us to continue the conversation next Friday.
As the Lord pleases.
Thank you, sir. All right. For all our viewers, we are running out of time. We can't push beyond the time allocated for the show. But our guests will be available for next Friday, and we will continue. There's so much. People are pouring questions, and if we haven't answered your question, please be patient. Next Friday, we will continue. There are a number of questions that have come through, and we would like to answer them. And our guest is available next Friday, so we will continue next Friday. But before we go, sir, just one last one, just in the next 4 minutes. How do you know someone really loves you? Someone sent in that question. How do you know someone really loves you?
It's not a definite thing, but there are characteristics you can see. You know that someone really loves you. Number one, they make sacrifices for you. They make sacrifices for you because people don't change because you love them. People change when they are making sacrifices for you. Number two, they pick interest in what interests you. You know that someone loves you, number one, when they can go out of their way to make sacrifices for you. Number two, they pick interest in what interests you. Very important. They respect the person you respect. One lady said, he told the guy that want to marry her, please, can we go and see my mentor? The person said, all these mentors, if we get married, we are not going to be seeing anybody. Now, if somebody does not respect what you hold so dear, that is a good quality. You may not really say the person loves you. Then, beyond communication, How do you know somebody loves you? The person is honest to you. The person is honest to you. When the person says something today, tomorrow you investigate it, that thing is true. You know, the person is honest to you. And then somebody is generous. Generosity is a sign of love, but that's not the major one. I began with the major one. Sacrifice, taking interest in what you take interest in, honesty, and then generosity. These are just few. You have about 21 ways. Next Friday we continue.
I think that's where we're going to start next week. We have done 3 of 21. I will want us to exhaust that list as much as possible for all our single people. Well, we have been greatly helped. We have been greatly blessed today. Reverend Joe, I know you were very loaded in this area, but I didn't know you were this loaded. I didn't know you were this loaded. Thank you so much for sharing your time and sharing your wisdom and many years of ministry experience. You know, I have seen the things that God has used you to do and is doing in the nations of the world. We are grateful. We thank you for your sacrifice. We thank you for your heart for marriages and relationships. God bless you. May the oil on your life continue to pour even at a higher level. For us here in South Africa, we are grateful for entering into our space and ministering to us. We look forward to the day that you will come here physically and do a marriage clinic and a singles conference for us. By the grace of God, God will make it happen. But thank God for Corona that has allowed us to utilize technology to bring you to our home, to bring you to our church, to bring you to our city, and to bring you to our nation. We are very grateful, sir. Thank you.
God bless you.
All right.
Thank you very
Before
much.
we go, yes, sir. Before we go, my wife, we need to talk about the Single Ladies Boot Camp a little bit. Let me give my wife to talk to the ladies a little bit.
Okay, like as we have been talking in this discussion, there's a lot of wisdom that singles need to know to be able to help them make an informed decision on who they marry. Because when you do marry, there's a whole lot more that you need to still need to learn. So it's better to have a firm foundation before you marry, and then when you marry, you can actually build better because you had a firm foundation in yourself. And so we organize these camps periodically, the Single Ladies Boot Camp, where we actually teach ladies on different principles that we believe helps you to make an informed decision. We've talked about building yourself. Those are some of the things we talk about, helping you to understand who you are and what you need to build into yourself, letting go of the baggages that you may have from previous relationships, the hurt, the pain. We deal with that. We pray with you. We go through those sessions, but we also give you wisdom, principles that you can begin to build. We've talked about forming habits, new habits, and some of these things we actually teach at the camp. So I want to encourage anyone who is listening to us. Our next camp is online. It's going to be online. We normally have it from Friday to Sunday, and the next date is June 26th to 28th. From Friday till Sunday, June 26th to 28th. You can register at www.slbc.co.za. All the information is there to register. So please go there and register. We have only a few slots. Because we want to try and make it as interactive and private as possible. So we won't take too large a crowd. We usually want to be able to spend enough time to listen to people, pray with them, deal with their issues, so that they will be in a place where they can actually forge a new and great relationship going forward. So I want to encourage any single lady out there, or if you have a sister, a cousin, somewhere, a member of your family, a friend, please let them know about it. A member of your church, just let them know and let them go register. We also have actually a promo. If you come, there's an amount for one person, there's an amount for two people. You can actually come with a friend and just pay something minimal additional. You get a discount on the second person. So please go ahead and register.
All right. And this camp, we started having this camp in 2010. 4 times a year since 2010. Now do the maths. This year, because of the coronavirus, we're supposed to be second quarter now. We're supposed to be doing the second camp, but this is the first camp we're doing this year. And we have, over the years, gained quite a lot of experience organizing these camps and teaching ladies. And we have seen miracles upon miracles. God has helped us to help a lot of women. Some of them are married. In fact, not some, a lot are married with children. And we will be sharing some of their testimonies. In fact, some of them will be sharing their testimonies at this camp. This camp is going to be online, so you're going to sit at your house from Friday, the whole of Saturday, and some of Sunday, where we help you to understand all the things that you're dealing with and move away from the singles bench. The whole idea is to equip you to get off from the singles bench. So God bless you. Go check the website out. There are infinite number of testimonies that are already on the website of people who have come through our camp since 2010, and God has helped them. Some of them are already 10 years, almost 10 years in marriage now. And we've seen God help them. slbc.co.za. That's where you go. And we will see you next Friday. Our guest, Reverend Joe Ibanugo, all the way from Port Harcourt in Nigeria, has been our precious guest today and shared so much wisdom. We will continue next week in the part 2 of this wisdom for growing stronger relationships. I want to say a big thank you to my wife for standing with me and for us doing what we are doing. She's the one who has done the back end of things and made sure that all has run well, and we are grateful. It's been 22 years that we've been in a relationship, and this month of June will be 20 years we are married. And we thank God for the things that we have learned working together in 22 years, and the things that we have learned being married for 20 years. We will be sharing more in next week, Friday. So I look forward to having you next week, Friday. Share the video on Facebook. Like our page on our channel on YouTube. Invite somebody. Send the link from your Facebook. Bless someone with the information that we have received for the last 90 minutes. It's been life-changing. Life-changing. Thank you so much for being our guest tonight, and we are looking forward to hanging out together again next Friday. Once again, Reverend Joel, we are grateful. Thank you for your ministry and your heart to minister to people in the area of relationships. All right, we are done for tonight. Good night. We're going to be taking some few adverts, and we will be seeing you next Friday. Thank you.
Why are you still single? Do you feel you're not ready yet? Do you say it's not my time yet? Have you made mistakes in the past and now you're stuck in a complicated situation? Or perhaps you've given up totally on the idea of marriage? Why not join Pastor Chuksogoye, author of The Amazing Power of Woman book, and his wife, Pastor Toyin, the founders of the Power of Woman Academy, at the next Single Ladies Boot Camp to explore and answer your questions? A big miracle could be waiting for you. For more information, visit www.slbc.co.za or WhatsApp 081 421 0835. The Power of Woman Academy is a group mentoring program for high-impact women. Women who want to change their lives and their worlds and move on to the next level. Power of Woman Academy is aimed and tailored at unleashing the passion and greatness locked inside you as a woman as you walk the journey of life over the mentorship period with our team of distinguished and well-accomplished mentors from all walks of life. Our mentors are indeed destiny helpers. These mentors come to inspire you. They come to encourage you, to challenge you, to teach you, to stretch you, and to empower you. They are committed to helping you fulfill your highest potential and help you birth your wildest dreams that have been placed in you by God. For more information about the Power of Woman Academy, please visit www.powacademy.co.za or for inquiries, call 064 200 1545.